The mind games start immediately. I'm gonna let them know, hey, I'm glad you called, because I haven't even seen my cards yet. So it's gonna be exciting to see what happens. They're automatically like, what the hell's going on? This guy not only called, but he raised, and he hasn't even seen his cards. I like to talk to people at the table. I like everybody to have a good time. But I'm also gonna get in your head while I'm playing with you. When you know that I haven't looked at my cards, you can't get a live read on me because I don't even know what I have. He calls it. He says I got kings flipping.
All in. I just can't stop. I just can't take it. The anguish. No one has ever put me in a spot like you just did, sir.
I'm new to the live stream area. I've watched all the different live streams that are out there. I don't think I've ever seen more action than what you guys have at TCH Dallas. So if nothing else, it was more of a challenge. Kind of a little intimidating. You've got some guys out there who love to play, who love action, who are not afraid to buy in. I can't tell how many of those players have the funds available and don't care if they lose, and how many people can't afford to lose but disguise it well. So when I see that much action out there and I'm watching that live stream over all of the other live streams, and I sit there and go, holy crud, there's so many action players over there, I want to be a part of that. I'm used to being the most reckless player at the table. I'm used to being the person who plays the most hands, and I'm going to walk into TCH Dallas and I'm going to get a hard dose of reality that says, hey, that's cool, you play a lot of hands, and so does Trick Time, and so does this guy, and so does that guy, etc.
Tell DQ to read his cards. I think he somewhat does that on purpose.
And you can see that he's positioned his little card marker or whatever there, like right over the scanner. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a like meta game, side game, whatever that he's playing.
If I'm not going to look at my cards, I don't want the viewers to look at my cards.
And DQ not folding his two cards.
What happens is when you see the cards, and then they go, oh my gosh, how can DQ call with Jack Deuce offsuit? This is the worst poker player ever. The mind games start immediately. I'm going to let them know, hey, I'm glad you called, because I haven't even seen my cards yet. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens.
7 in on the river pretty much no matter what the run out is. DQ flashes him the 5 of clubs, and it's probably telling him a story that's like, yeah, bro, like I totally got you and you should fold. And
I like to talk to people at the table. I like everybody to have a good time.
That's what I imagine is going on.
Shows him the 5 again. He's like,
oh man, I left at the worst time. It looks like everyone's having a great time. He can't even hang out at the table.
But I'm also going to get in your head while I'm playing with you, because I'm going to let you know that I haven't looked at my hand. I'm going to let you know that I called you without looking at my cards. And that means that when the flop comes out, you're going to look at your hand really carefully and decide how to proceed.
And Big Daddy Chaz in the tank trying to decide if nut no pair is worthy of a call.
They start looking at their hand, and their hand starts shriveling up.
Chaz reluctantly releases because he knows that DQ can just have a bunch of air balls.
And that's where DQ comes in, and that's where DQ tries to take advantage of those situations.
DQ has except for Greg, and Greg is gonna fold! Oh no!
Yeah, I mean, DQ is so fun to play with.
I like Brad and Andrew, really nice guys. But what I have found is that when professionals come into Texas, they're used to playing a very certain way.
Andrew and E are really handcuffed because they have DQ on their left. You know, he's liable to kind of do anything. You've seen him either 3-bet or whatever with like 10-3 offsuit and stuff, and so that's going to make it very tough for them to play very many hands.
They're used to looking at a specific position that people are in, who makes the bets, and based on that, they look at their hand and they say, hey, here's the variance of what I should call.
My strategy is pretty much ISO DQ, and then everybody to the left of me has been playing pretty snug.
When they raise or when they call bets, they're going to have premium hands.
We don't know what DQ has. He did it in the dark. I called in the dark, but I put my cards over the reader at least, and then he bets 300 in the dark here. And I have like the worst hand I could possibly have for calling dark. And DQ has Jack 9 offsuit with the Jack of diamonds, so he has the gutter with the Jack high flush draw.
When the flop comes out and the turn, and premium cards are not out there. They're below 10 or below. These guys will fold almost every single time to a big raise. By the way, it doesn't even matter what your cards are. You don't even have to look at your cards. It's just that they are going to play a tight, correct, specific way, and sometimes that's really easy to exploit. The mental aspect of playing against somebody who doesn't care if they lose, that gets very dangerous. I'm not worried about money. So most people who are coming to play, they have a specific amount that they've bought in, they've got a specific amount that they've shown up with. I, on the other hand, am sitting there to only have fun. I do not play poker for a living. If you go into the game knowing how much money you brought to play with, and knowing that if you lost every penny of it, it wouldn't change any aspect of your life. But the key is only taking the money that you know that you can afford to lose, and when you lose it, it just didn't impact your life. So if you're gonna play these bigger games and the minimum buy-in is $5,000 and you didn't walk to the table with at least $15,000, you had no business being there. By the way, if you came to the table with $15,000, you got it all in there and you lost every penny of it. If it meant you couldn't make a mortgage payment, a child support payment, a car payment, or anything else, and it caused you undue stress or pressure, I have an advantage against you, and I'm going to exploit it. We're only running it one time. There's no 2, there's no 3 times. Somebody's going to hurt. Somebody is going to lose money. We're going to have maximum pain at all times.